A word for our listeners. Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Justin Kimmett, Shirley Nedzwicki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Masks of Nyarlathotep. This week we're here with a mostly new crew. We've got Shirley.
Hello.
Wallet.
Hello.
Stephan.
Hey.
Roach.
Hey.
Aidan.
Hi.
And Googs.
What's up?
So Aidan is my son, and he'll be joining us. This is his first official podcast of anything. You played Call of Cthulhu before, right, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you played it one time?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty much, and you played some D&D with me, right, too?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to introduce everybody else and talk to you for a second about the kind of gaming you've done. Shirley, they know who you are, right?
Yeah,
We don't need to introduce you.
Oh, and I know they can't see my hand gestures, so
Yeah.
I'll keep that to a minimum.
Wallet, tell us a little about your background. How long have you been gaming?
I probably started gaming in the 80s. Original TSR, D&D.
Okay. You still gaming today, or
I
on and
probably
off?
haven't been in the game probably the last 5.
Looks good. Bringing you back. That's important. Stephan.
79. I'm an old veteran.
Wow, you are old.
Yes, I
You've
am.
been playing since you were 9 years old.
Yes. First D&D game at a friend's house was a sleepover for his birthday party.
Wow.
Played Castle Amber. The basic set.
Wow.
Expert set.
Right on. And you still game today.
Every chance I get.
Right on. Roach, how about you?
I didn't get into gaming until like 94 when I went away to college.
Wow.
At which point, when my mom found out, she said, "Isn't that where you worship the devil?"
Yeah. Right on.
Just say
Okay.
yes every time.
Did
someone
you
asks
roll
that
with
question.
it?
I said no and then tried to change the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're still gaming with
Yes.
Stephan, right? All
And
the
our
time.
kids. Yes.
Sounds like fun. I've seen some of those on Facebook. They look like awesome stuff. And Googs, you're...
I started gaming when I went away to college. I went away to college in 97, but I don't think I started gaming until 98.
Okay.
Played various systems. So.
Okay. And you're still gaming today? On a
Still
regular
gaming
basis?
today. I do 2 times a month. I do a podcast for another D&D game, actually. So,
Right on.
Yep.
Okay. So tonight we're going to be going through a story that's something familiar to everybody, hopefully all of our listeners at home. It's going to be the Mystery Machine crew. So we've got the Scooby-Doo characters here. But they're a little different in this world. So in this world, they run a reality TV show called The Mystery Machine, where they go from supposed ghost sighting to ghost sighting, debunking them. They're very successful. They're very popular. We're talking like American Idol Season 1 popular. But this has probably been going on for 2 or 3 years. So they're celebrities, but they're also very good at their job. The five of them have been around for a while. Or 4 of them have been around for a while. So we've got Fred Jones. That's you, Googs. You are a doctor of quantum physics. We've got...
means I'm way smarter on this character sheet than I am in real life.
We've got Daphne Blake, played by Shirley.
Yes.
And you have a BA in art history.
I do.
But more importantly, you are the medium of the group.
Very much so.
Okay. We have Velma. I forget Velma's last name because I can't see her character sheet.
Dinkley?
Dinkley, yes.
Really?
Yep. I did some actual research for this.
I could see Daphne going, "Hey, Dinks, let's go to the restroom."
So Daphne, you have a doctorate in parapsychology and psychology, I believe, right?
Yes, I do.
And you yeah, that was my whole point. I don't know what the rest of that was. And then Shaggy, you're the cameraman. You've been carrying stuff for a while.
Yep.
That's played by Stephan. So Stephan, your what's your degree in?
A BA in telecommunications.
So you do the camera stuff.
Pizza delivery.
And you're probably like the head camera guy. You're not the only one, but in this particular adventure, there's just you. And we have a couple of interns. So we have Fred's younger brother. We call him Scooby. Scooby is being played by as a person in this game. That's played by Wallet. Did I? I don't think I gave you anything.
No, I'm 17, so I'm just started on the show, and I'm probably following like Shaggy and around here, learning how to be a cameraman.
And then we have Scrappy, who is the nephew of Fred. Fred's kind of the face of the
and
the show.
Is awesome.
Yeah, nepotism's great. So Scrappy's got a little bit of a shadier past. He's been in some fights. He knows a few things about rough and tumble stuff, right? That's why you've got the combat stuff at the bottom of your character sheet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your age on there? 19. So we have the little kid's older than you. I did that on purpose. So we've got this group together. So here's how the story starts. You guys have been doing this show for 2.5 years. You're into the third year of production, but none of it has been released yet. You usually get through almost the whole entire season before it starts releasing, so that nothing's spoiled and nothing comes out. Everything's kept pretty hush-hush. You've been renewed for like 7 more seasons. You're really popular, bringing in lots of money. You all make very good money. Even the cameraman, you're set for a while. Because as a cameraman, you're still part of the face of the show. You're showing a lot of the stuff that's going on. Daphne, you've got your own. There are dozens of websites dedicated to your medium abilities, and then there are dozens of other websites that are a little less above board. Velma, you've been asked to come speak at colleges. As soon as you quit this, if you ever decide to leave, you could probably teach at Harvard or Yale or something along those lines to teach psychology. Have that kind of
Mrs. Smarty Pants.
Yeah.
Some of us have a backup plan.
Fred, this was originally what you wanted to do. When you went to quantum physics, you knew that there was something else out there, and there is. You guys have studied cases and been on cases, not for the reality TV show, but for other situations where you've run into ghosts or apparitions or something. And Daphne is good at what she does. She is a true medium. She can speak to the things that are there. And often the way that you debunk things is you have something appear, Daphne talks to it, and it says, no, that's not us. We wouldn't do that. That's not how we operate here. So there's been a lot of, you guys always end up pulling the proverbial mask off of Farmer John or whoever it is that's kind of doing up whatever story it is. But you've been doing this for 2.5 years, and it's been going really well. To the point that there's some concern that you guys are going to run out of the fake stuff, and you might go into some of the real stuff, which you're all fine with. But there's some concern from the network end that, that could be too dangerous. So the network set you up with this particular episode.
Insurance agents.
Yeah. Well, one bad ghost encounter, somebody gets cut. That just even a cut, that could look really bad. You might boost the ratings of the show way through the roof, but if the network is liable,
You mean like a cut on their arm?
Yeah, like even a cut on their arm.
Like cut from the show.
No. Not to mention, potential death. So what you've been asked to do is scout a location and start doing the preliminary filming. So you usually do that with a small group, and then you bring in more of a production scene after you're done with that preliminary group. So it's the 6 of you. Shaggy, you just got some new interns. That's great. You know that they're Fred's family, but you also know that you're in charge as far as it goes with them. So you've been given full reign to boss people around if you need to. Yes. But there is a small town in Montana that supposedly things have been going strange in. People have been disappearing. There's rumors of fires in the fields at night, but they're cold by the time people get out to them. You can see them off on the horizon, but by the time people get out there, they're cold and dead and nothing's going on. There's been no bodies shown up that are human, but there have been animals that have just been found dead. And the most recent situation was that there was a circle of dead crows left out in a field where it clearly had burned in the middle of it. The crows are newly dead. None of them had been touched by any fire, and the fire happened that same night. So it's the strange arrangement. Doesn't really make any sense. Nothing that you guys know of fits this.
Like they were murdered.
Yes, a murder of crows.
Sorry. That's ridiculous.
So you guys have been called out. You've been given, full reign to do whatever you need to in the town. The town's pretty remote. You're about an hour and a half away from anything. Your McDonald's or anything. There's gas stations out here, but anything convenient is not. And the town's maybe 700 people. So when you have 5 or 10 disappear, that's when it goes a little weird.
Is there a diner?
Yeah, there's a small diner.
Excellent.
But it's also it's where everyone goes, so it has a lot of traffic coming in and out, and not everybody's paid. It's more like the farmers come in from the field and they pay when slaughter season comes around by giving them beef. So it's one of those things where they work around those strange situations, but
My grandparents' town, where all people get put together and play cards in the morning at the gas station.
yeah, absolutely. So you arrive on an early April morning. It's probably during the week. You see people going in and out about their day, but there's not a lot of people around. You've been told that the town is pretty farm intensive. It's Montana, so you've got a lot of space out here, a lot of ranching and a lot of that kind of stuff. It's not cold, but neither is it warm. It's kind of like a high 50s, low 60s, and expected to stay that way for the next couple of days. No real rain or anything is on the forecast.
Now, do we let people know before we come into the town?
The
we're doing this now?
mayor signed off on this.
Okay.
The town itself is being paid, and it's expected that anybody that spends any substantial time on the show will also get money. So it's a way to bring money into the town.
Okay.
So the mayor was all for that, signed off on it. The town probably got like $30,000, which is nothing in the budget of the show, but is a lot of money to a small town like that.
So we don't have to sneak around.
Nope.
People are going to know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Although you have in the past had to sneak around because once you start uncovering things, people start covering up more things, and so that's expected. But again, you also are well known enough that if you showed up, people will be like, oh, they're staying for a while. Oh, we know what's going on. So that's the kind of situation you have. So I know I've left it a little open. I don't know quite what you guys want to investigate, but this will be the start. So let me know what you'd like to do.
I'd like to find the local vet.
Okay. There's
There's the coolest boss ever, by the way. That's what carry around a Glock as an intern.
Oh yeah.
You are awesome.
Yes.
It's Montana.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's Montana.
Everyone's pretty armed to me.
I don't have any guns.
Yeah.
I don't have any guns.
I don't think I have
It's the interns that are armed.
Oh.
I don't think I have one either.
No.
So wait, my nephew and my younger brother are the boot squad.
It didn't go that way, but your nephew, like I said earlier, your nephew's gotten into some trouble in the past,
yeah,
and
okay.
your younger brother,
It is the cameraman that I have armed.
yeah, you're actually technically Daphne, you are armed as well. You have a fencing foil that you practice with occasionally. You can't keep it with you. You probably come in with, I'd say 3 or 4 RVs, just to give you an idea, because you live out of them while you're here. No need to put you up in a hotel. So you
We
call.
don't all just cram into the mystery machine.
No. The mystery machine in this storyline is the name of the show, not necessarily a vehicle. Although it is painted on the sides of the RVs because that's advertising. The local vet is actually also a farmer himself. He doesn't have a whole lot, but he has a small herd of cattle and some sheep. You just head out there.
Yeah. My intention is to, since they found bodies of animals,
Okay.
to see if they've done any kind of autopsy or tried to determine what the cause of death was.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys, you head out to the vet. He's like 10 minutes out of town. Like, there's nobody really in town. It's really just a couple of stores and some buildings, and that's it. You get out there on a farm. It's dirt road leads to the farm from a questionable county highway. You pull up. There's plenty of room to park. and you head in. His name is Dr. Jones. That's terrible. I'm really bad with names.
We're rolling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is something you would be filming. Like this would be, even if this is the way you would start the episode, you'll still have film for this. So.
So I've got a question
Yeah.
as a medium.
Sure. You want to know how to use your medium ability?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen: is when you feel like it's time to, you will roll a cult to initiate a medium state,
Right.
assuming you succeed, which you should. Then, depending on who else is in the seance with you and is contributing.
So it has to be through a seance. It can't be just to feel out spiritual energy.
The reason I say no, and you can do that, but every time you do it, every time you initiate that, you're going to use a spell of magic. You don't get those back until you sleep.
Oh.
So if you feel like, oh, this house has something weird, yeah, go for it. Go push out for that. But then once you do that, you can get a feel for it, but you're going to have to do a seance to pull in whatever spirits are there to talk.
I guess I was wondering if it would be used as an investigative technique, like she's going to the vet. If I was around the animals' bodies, would I do that to feel like what kind of...
No, that's more of like a
maybe
cult.
like how they ended?
It's a cult, a little bit of history there. So I gave you a lot of specific things that don't really make sense. So like you have 70 in astronomy, so reading the stars is going to be important or could be important. A cult you have an 80 in, that's your medium ability, and then just the things that you're getting intuitively. You also have a luck of 90, so I may ask for a lot of luck rolls in those situations. You're going to be pretty good at those.
Okay.
That's how I kind of built the character around that.
So actually being around the animals, I could roll a cult to see if any Ouija stuff is going on.
Yeah. You also have like the spot hidden. So a lot of this stuff is like you are perceptive, and I gave you higher scores because you're perceptive in a supernatural way.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
we'll call him Dr. Dr. Walton is his actual name, not Dr. Jones. Sounds terrible. Dr. Walton, and his wife is there. She's also she's cooking breakfast. You guys come in or pull up, and she comes out and greets you and brings you into the house and gets you kind of set up in their front room, which is not huge, but it's big enough and lets you set up kind of how you need to shoot and all that. And she calls him in from the fields, and 10 minutes later he's there. So, what can I do for you? What kind of questions can I answer?
Well, Dr. Walton, I wanted to, we're here for the history sheet.
Yeah.
We're investigating the fires and the animal deaths that have been happening around here with the GT stuff that's been going on. So what I wanted to know is, have you, as the town vet, have you looked at any of the bodies of the animals that were found in the fields?
The couple of times we found cattle and sheep dead, I took a look at those.
Were you able to determine a cause of death?
Natural in the sense that most of them were heart attacks or organ failure, but unnatural in the sense that organs don't fail like that on a healthy head of cattle. Like you don't just have the heart go out. The kidneys don't just shut down for no reason. There's nothing else I could see other than what would be considered old age in a lot of cases, or just overworked heart. But these are cattle that are out in the field grazing. They're not doing a whole lot. They're not running. They're not, I'd find these strange, like medicines or chemicals in their blood system that would make me worry about steroids or anything like that. No, nothing like that. The farmers around here keep their animals clean, or legally clean.
And they were just found randomly in the field, or
most of them. This last bit, the birds. I don't know much about birds. They look like they died sitting up. Not wings weren't spread or anything. So I don't know quite what happened. I have to guess that it's another organ failure, but I don't know enough about birds, so I can't really be sure.
And the sheep and the cattle, they were found just randomly in the fields?
Just randomly in the fields. The sheep were found, some of the sheep were also found inside the barn where they were being kept overnight during a rain.
If we had a map of the area, could you mark on the map where?
Oh yeah. I did kind of look to see where they were all at. I didn't see much of a pattern, but maybe I missed something. I'm not. You guys are much better at this than I am.
Is there any other things that were noticed in the rooms when they were found? And you said some were found in the barn. Was there anything else odd noted in the barn at the time?
Give me, you guys can give me psychology to kind of read off of what he's saying.
Percentile, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry?
I have a 1 in psychology.
Yeah, that means you're not trained at all?
Okay.
46 in psychology.
Oh, okay.
I made it.
You want to roll under?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
I got a 11.
I didn't really notice much of anything other than the animals. It's clear as he's talking about this, he's holding something back. He seems like he doesn't want to talk about something else that is going on with what he found, but he seems very uncomfortable about it.
As we're talking, can I psychoanalyze him?
Psychoanalyzation takes a longer period. You need at least an hour with him talking about more than just the animals. You need to get to know him as a person.
Okay.
So you could use that, but it's not going to come into. You'd have to take more time.
Okay.
Is he? When you say it looks like he's hiding something, is he hiding? Is he hedging more around certain areas of the conversation?
Whatever was around with the animals sounds like specifically in the barn.
Okay.
He doesn't want to talk about what else was there. He's told you there was nothing else, but.
Okay. What barn were these sheep found in?
Oh, one of the farms a couple of farms over.
Which direction? Which farm?
He gives you directions, tells you a name.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Oh, those particular ones were probably 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was there any strange weather those days or anything?
Oh, honestly, I don't remember.
Okay. Are you sure you don't want to talk about anything else?
I mean, if there's something else you guys have questions about, I'd be happy to help answer any questions you guys have.
How's the farming been around here this season?
Oh, just started the season, but other than the strange deaths, cattle and the sheep seem healthy. We've only had a couple of coyote attacks. It's not been that bad. It's a little easier than normal, but nothing out of the ordinary, really. It was a little bit of a hard winter, you know how that goes, but the herd seemed to survive it. So.
And the economy,
this
last year, how's it been treating you?
It's the town when the winter comes through like that, especially way up here, nearly Canada, it can get a little rough, but the town always makes it through. It's not our first hard winter, it won't be our last.
So how's it been easier for you? You said it's easier than normal.
Just less attacks, less random animal attacks.
So you pretty much get coyote attacks more than usual?
Especially after a hard winter, coyotes are hungry by the time that's all done and said, and they'll group up on a couple of cattle or some sheep, catch ranchers off guard, and you never know what happens there. But we haven't had nearly as many. Like the coyotes aren't hungry or aren't around, I'm not sure.
Where do they usually come down from?
Oh, up in the mountains. It's vague, but you're kind of surrounded by a bunch of hills, so it's probably a little bit everywhere.
Is there one type of animal that seems to have shown up a lot in the last few weeks?
Now that you mention it, yes, that there are quite a few more crows. I don't know if it's maybe the animals are drawing them in, the dead animals. It's kind of carrion birds, but yeah, there's been more crows than normal. More crows than I remember seeing.
And the animals that have disappeared, was there more sheep, cattle?
Oh, more cattle, but there's more cattle here, so it's appropriate for the percentage.
Dr. Walton, have you watched our show before?
Oh, absolutely. I love your show.
Okay, then you know my specialty. Would I be able to see the animals?
I mean, most of them, we got rid of the bodies. You could look at the crows. I think I've got 2 cattle at another barn at another farm that are probably still fresh enough that we haven't destroyed them.
Yeah, if I
But
could see them.
you got to keep in mind that as farmers, if there's something infecting the herd, we destroy the bodies as quickly as possible to
I
keep them
understand.
spreading. So, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, if I could take a look at them, I would appreciate it.
Head on over to the farm. I'm sure they'd be happy to let you look.
While they've been chatting
Mhm.
with Dr. Walton, I want to do psychology and Mrs. Walton.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. That's 91. So, no, I didn't.
Okay. She seems, happy to be there. She's kind of that typical homemaker farmer's wife, so she probably does a lot of the harder chores around the house while he's out doing his farm stuff plus veterinary stuff. She also seems like kind of also his personal assistant, which that makes a little sense if she's answering the phones and setting up appointments for stuff. But she's offered you muffins and baked goods. Like she also seems to take the hospitality aspect of the homemaker very seriously. So.
How were the muffins?
Did you eat them?
I ate one.
That's always a very good question to ask. No, they were warm and delicious.
I told you.
Like a good home made farm muffin would. I mean, that's the kind of thing you can think of. They're hearty. They stick to your ribs, but in that
I
good
would
way.
pick at the top and eat it a little bit.
Scooby, you have to have those muffins.
See snacks.
Do we have any special equipment we use,
Yes.
proverbial
Yes,
Geiger
absolutely.
counter,
Geiger.
the EKG?
I would assume that you built what they call the Jones, the Jones spectroscope.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you're one of the foremost members of your field. So between you and the parapsychologist and the medium, you've learned to pick up certain energies and rating. We won't get into the technical aspects. I don't know anything about ghost hunting. But you probably built a couple of things. You probably modified a few things. You have a SCAD, just a load of options that you probably bring with you.
Okay.
I've helped with that. Apparently, I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of high ratings in repair electronics.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he seems like he's holding something back.
Yeah.
Does it seem to be? I mean, out of normal. Like if I'm sitting there and I'm talking to someone, I can tell if they're fearful or something.
Did you
Can I
get your?
tell out
Did
of
you make
what?
your psychology earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
It's a little bit of shame, but it's also a little bit of fear. If you had to guess from the way he talks about the town and about the people, it's a fear for what it can be for the town.
So I wouldn't think that he may be behind it at this point.
That's not the sense you're getting.
Okay.
Dr. Walton,
Yes.
would you mind? You've seen our show. You know how
Yeah.
this
Oh,
works.
yeah.
Mind if we take a look around and do some filming on your property?
Oh, yeah. No, go right ahead. Watch out for the cowboys. They can get a little rough out there. And if you see more than a couple of coyotes, head back to the house because they can get a little. Like I said, we haven't had anything there's not been any human attacks in the last couple of years, but I just don't want you out there where that kind of stuff happens.
Scooby, Scrappy, take the small pieces and go have some fun.
Before I leave the house,
Mhm.
the house,
Yes.
do I notice anything in the room we were in that seemed out of the ordinary?
Give me a spot hidden. It's alphabetical, so it'll be on the far right column there. Right there. Yep. Nope. The house seems about right for a farmhouse. The house is it's not old. It's probably built in the early 60s. Probably replaced the previous house that was on this land. But it's well kept and nicely appointed, and it doesn't have that. It's not got precious moments stuff all over the place. It's kind of free of knickknacks and just nicely decorated. So Scrappy and Scooby, you guys head out around the house.
Yeah, we'll take scene shots and stuff like
Okay.
that. We'll probably do the editing.
Okay, can you both give me a luck roll?
What's an attribute?
Yeah.
I mean, my luck. It's below, right?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So, Scooby, as you guys are out looking around and you're shooting this and you're kind of pointing out that you're like, well, it'd be really nice if we got a couple of shots around the house from distance. You got one from the front, so you head out farther towards the back, keeping an eye out. You miss the cow pies. You don't see any coyotes. You do see a wolf, just one lone wolf, kind of off in the distance, and he's aware of you, kind of curious as to what you're doing, but leaves you alone, doesn't come anywhere near you. And you get out to the fields where they've planted, probably planted some stuff, but doesn't seem to be growing quite yet. It's still a little early in the season. And then you stumble upon, Scooby, you notice it. You stumble upon an area that has been cleared in a circle. And by cleared, I mean like the dirt is flat, like a cement roll machine has gone over it, but it looks as perfect as a circle as it could be. Almost like a crop circle, but there's no corn stalks here to knock down. In the middle of it, there is a single crow, kind of splayed out, wings out, beak straight up at the air, feet kind of up as well. No blood or anything. It looks just kind of dead, laying there, not moving. Doesn't seem to be breathing or anything that you can see. But around it is some sort of symbol. If you had to guess, it almost looks like a skewed eye, like eyeball, like iris and that kind of stuff, not the letter I.
You being excited 17-year-old intern, like, this is so cool.
Oh yeah.
I asked what he's looking at.
Okay, yeah. Once he
over.
starts, yeah, you guys check it out. Both of you give me a spot hit.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's just seems.
Looks like grass.
I mean, it's just like the dirt is it's like a dark, like almost like a muddy colored dirt, but everything else around is also that same color. But it's also again paved. It's stomped flat. It's flat. It's not stomped flat. It's flat. It's almost like somebody took a giant cylindrical item and just slapped it down. It's probably 25 feet across at its widest, so it's a pretty big area.
What's the wolf doing?
He's wandered off. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else?
Yeah, we might want to talk to our middle?
Medium. Okay. So you guys head back to the house.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while they've been out of the house, Mrs. Walton has given you a complete run through of the town's history and how her family grew up here and a house just over. Like you've probably filmed this whole thing. Just if nothing else, it's good filler.
Oh yeah.
I am listening intently.
They've never had anything like this before that she's aware of, and she keeps talking, and you just let her go because she clearly loves to do this kind of stuff.
Well, I'm gonna try and guide her while she's talking.
Okay.
Because when she gets going about the families and stuff like that, I guide her towards the people that have disappeared and their families.
Okay. Roll persuade. Let's go with persuade.
Okay.
You're not terrible at that.
But I roll terrible.
You try to, and she goes towards some families for a little bit, and then she kind of veers back, almost like you don't talk about people that have lost others. You get the feeling it's that, not like we don't talk about that because we're involved in some evil thing.
Okay.
But the more she talks and the more you get out of her, I'd like the four of you to roll psychology that were still there. They're not there. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
4.
Did you get a Stephan?
I have a 5. How long have you been gone?
You were probably gone 20 minutes, half hour. Did you
I
get
got it.
Okay. So the two of you, the two ladies, you get the feeling that she's either very much into that homemaker mentality where everything's sunny and great and wonderful no matter what's going on, or she has been taught to be like this. And the more you listen to her, the more it's not brainwashing, but it's when we talk about the town, this is the way we talk. And Dr. Walden has not lost complete interest. Yes, yes. He's doing that thing where it's clear that this is not the first time it's happened, nor is this going to be the last time it's happened, but he's heard this story a dozen times at least. He's lost interest, his eyes have glazed over a little bit, he responds almost as though he's trained himself to respond to those points. Oh, yep, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that was a good time. But he's not there. And the more you sit there and listen, the more it just seems a little weird.
Scripted.
A little, not more than scripted. She believes it. More like trained into her.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So.
Indoctrinated?
Yes, there's the word. Thank you. Those are good words. So that it's about that time that she kind of wraps up and gets done. That Scrappy and Scooby come back in.
Yeah. What? Yes, the camera.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. You watch the video. They get some good shots. And they're a little iffy on their framing, but yeah, whatever. They're kids. What are you gonna
I'll
do?
say the criticism for later.
Yeah. But then like they're walking around and he's getting some weird shots and swinging on the ground, but whatever. He edit all that out later. Then suddenly he stops and pans up and you see this circle that I've described. It looks strange.
I will show Velma.
Okay.
And then I will show
Daphne, you should.
Daphne.
Okay.
Fred?
Where is this?
And then I'll show Fred.
Down back.
Dr. Walton, when was the last time you were out in your fields?
Oh, we planted, I'd say 2-3 weeks ago. I don't go out there much. I mean, we've had enough rain. Don't really worry about it. The irrigation system's working, so we're good.
Okay.
That's not the.
So then
that's
this, and I take the camera.
well, how far out were you guys?
This isn't.
What is that? And he completely looked taken aback, like he was not expecting to see that. How far out were you? You give directions to where you were. Well, that's not even my field.
What?
That's the next farm over. That's part of their growing field.
What does Mrs. Walton look like when we reveal this?
Oh, she won when Scooby showed the camera to Shaggy. She turned and went into the kitchen. Like, not even suspiciously, just like, oh, they're going to talk more business. I'm going to go back and do some more baking or whatever she's doing.
Interesting.
Well, I'm gonna head out to the spot to
Yeah.
take a look.
Wait, first. This is not your field, you said?
No, this is the farm next door.
I'd like to know where does it end? Is it going to be clear when I see it?
No, I mean, we don't really mark our fields. We just don't plan each other's fields because that's kind of not right. There is kind of like a drainage ditch between them.
Okay.
Have you farmed much before?
No. I know.
You might not quite see it, but if you're really looking for it, you'll know what you're looking for.
All right.
So, you guys head out that way, all 6 of you.
Before we go, I would like to get the name of the farmer's field we're going on to.
You
and all
get
that
the
kind of
name
information.
and kind of the direction to the house, both from the road, because you'd have to go a couple minutes back to the road and then back over. Or if you want to walk out there and then walk to the house, you also get that in those directions as well.
And if we can get some contact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's the time frame? Like, is this 1988? Or
Oh, this is 2015. This is April 2015.
Then I would ask him if he could contact his neighbor via phone and let them know that
Oh
we're
yeah. Well, I can't guarantee he's going to be in the house. I mean,
Oh, well.
you know, sometimes the cell phones out here are a little spotty, but
okay.
that's also, you guys have also been in rural areas like this before. That's just the way it is. It does add to that edginess about the situation sometimes, but that's just the way it is. And this is Montana, like they have 3 cell towers in the whole state, I'm sure. So, I'm sure.
Sorry, Montana.
Calm down. I'm from Wyoming. They have at least 5 because Wyoming has 3.
Oh, fair enough. It's a bigger state, so that makes sense, right? I'll call over right away, and he goes to the phone, dials it, waits for it to ring. Hey, George, the Mystery Machine people are over here. They're headed out. They found something weird on your land. If you get back in the house, give me a call.
I'm gonna stop by the RVs where all our equipment is, and grab a couple of pieces that I think would be appropriate.
Well, and I assume that you guys brought probably a big production van and a car to this particular location, and then the 2 or 3 RVs were driven in.
Yeah,
kind of.
I figure I have some equipment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The production truck probably.
Has his tone changed after seeing the circle?
He seems a little weirded out by it.
Unnerved.
Unnerved is yeah.
It seems genuine.
Yeah, from everything you can tell. Like I like saying things like that. From everything you can tell. I mean, yeah.
First time I met them.
So you guys head out that way.
Yes.
I'll go with Fred and pick up some equipment.
Okay.
too before.
You guys grab the equipment. You head out. It's a it's a 20-minute walk or 10-minute walk, so give or take. And you find it. I need everybody except for Shaggy and Scooby to give me spot rolls. Spot hidden.
I will say,
Not even.
on the way out,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give Scooby a camera and say, okay, you did good. Now you're gonna film me filming this.
Yeah.
So I had 23 under 90.
32 out of 75.
63 out of 50. So.
Yeah. Okay, so Stephan got it, right?
Got it.
Just so you know, all zeros is not a success.
Okay.
No, but in all fairness, in the rule system, that's 100. That's an absolute fail. Yeah. But you do notice you're keeping an eye out for this drainage ditch thing, and you get an idea of when you cross, and it's about 100 feet before the circle. Like he knows where his border is. He's probably walked it. Yeah. So you guys get out there. Everybody that got the spot hidden, you notice that there is a thin line of salt at the edge of the circle, and that there are 2 sticks. Two sticks look freshly broken under the crow.
As I'm going out there, I'm gonna put my radar on.
Do you want to expend your magic point?
Well, I want to be able to if there's any occult, not search for any spirits or anything like that, but keep an eye out for that occult feeling or anything.
Okay, roll your.
People cannot see that on.
I'm just trying to make this last.
Oh yeah.
The salt, signifies some sort of protection or barrier of some sort. You get closer, the sticks are yew wood and are fresh. You haven't seen any yew, but you weren't looking for it either, so you're not sure where that would have come from.
Okay.
They're leafless. They've been stripped purposefully, obviously purposefully stripped, and the ends are sharpened slightly. It's hard to tell from the look of it. I assume you go in the circle because you don't need to get much more. You're gonna have to go in the circle.
What kind of
whatever's
energy
been done is done.
feeling do I get? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
whatever's
there's
been done
nothing
is done.
Residual.
No.
Okay. So I would go.
The sticks are sharpened as though they're. It could mean a dozen things, but it's something aggressive. And the dead crow. If there's a lot of crows, there's something tying it there. I mean, there's something connecting that. You're not quite sure what. What now?
The symbol.
You're not familiar with the symbol. You've never seen it before.
Okay. Does anybody have a notebook on them?
Oh, you probably have your own.
Oh, okay. So I would trace.
I mean,
the symbol.
you don't have specifically drawing or sketching,
Yeah.
but you have the artistic ability.
I have calligraphy and engraving.
Yeah.
Derek, do you have any special type of equipment like red light, black,
Oh yeah, you can run.
infrared, anything like that?
Yeah. You would have all that stuff.
So if we go through all the settings,
Yeah.
we see anything different?
There are drifts of something. So you go over with black light. There are drips of something going out in 5 points from the crow to the edge, and they stop at the edge.
Pentagram?
No, it's just lines.
Just lines.
Yeah.
5.
The regular mode or the red?
It's in the black light. It's in UV, and you can't tell what it is. You could probably take a sample, soil sample, and you probably don't have a full spectrometer with you guys, but you can send it off.
I was filming hands, so I'm going to show him so he knows what setting goes.
Oh yeah. And you flip it over and then grab all that same thing.
Snap pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to do a call as well.
Sure.
71 out of 90.
Yeah.
Focusing mostly on the symbol.
The symbol is not something you're familiar with. You've not seen it before, but you both know that it looks like an eye. You're going to have to guess it's very much an eye, but it's not a human eye, or it's an altered human eye. So that means that it probably means that there's something more powerful or alien watching this spot, or was watching this spot at the time of whatever happened here.
So we investigated and debunked popsicles before.
Yeah, those
Oh,
were
okay.
super easy. This is
just probably somebody messing around.
this is a little different. You don't ever find dirt smashed like this. Something heavy would have had to have done this. Does anybody have any kind of geology or
Yes, I have geology.
There you go. Natural history would also work.
I rolled a 70 out of 40, so I
Yeah.
have no clue.
Natural
I'm still
I got,
blood.
yeah, we'll roll the natural history because I got at least 5 more in that.
Yeah.
For natural history.
No.
Can I try
Yeah,
another
go for it.
one? 23 out of 55.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. You roll, bud. It's fine.
4.
So the intern comes up and he goes, that looks like it had to weigh like 400 or 500 pounds, whatever did this. And you all kind of look at him like, what?
What?
And he just kind of shrugs his shoulder and wanders back to what he was doing. But now that he's pointed that out, there are not specific, like in crop circles sometimes, because when they're made with a board, there are specific like lines you can see where there's no lines there. So maybe something 500 pounds was dropped down here. Maybe something else did that. It's possible that there was some sort of magic that caused it.
Do we see any kind of tracks, tread tracks, anything that would indicate a...
If you wanted to roll,
vehicle?
if someone wanted to roll track for me, that would be great.
That's my 10. Okay.
Sure.
Ooh,
Nope.
is that a 0 or 0-2? I rolled a 2.
Ooh, nice.
My
Intern.
tracking is 80.
Yeah. So you
No,
find
intern team.
3 sets of footprints. 2 are clear, like heavy-duty work boots. One's like a size 9.5. The other one's like size 12, give or take. That's a rough estimate. The other one is a pair of tennis shoes, and it's either a very small men's shoe or a medium-sized woman's shoe. From the narrowness, it might be a woman's shoe, but it could also be some sort of like skating shoe or flat.
Chuck?
Yeah, like a Chuck or something like that. You'd have to lean more towards kind of the women.
I tell them that.
And it's not a tennis shoe. It's just a regular shoe.
So, can we take a cast? Would we have stuff to take a cast of it, or could I trace it?
You could trace it. You could definitely take a cast.
Film everything.
Yeah, you could take a cast, but it will take, we'll say, 45 minutes to get a cast of all 3 of them, a good cast of all 3 of them, if you guys want to spend that time.
Well, I'm gonna take my equipment and do some readings.
Okay.
Check for electromagnetic waves,
The
magnetic
electromagnetics are a little off here, but not bad.
Okay.
It could be the cell towers, or it could be a storm's coming in. It's not enough to really spike anything. It just seems a little weird.
After I make sure he's got enough footage of the actual interior of the circle, I'll start measuring like does those differences in like magnetics or electromagnetics, those change as you go into the circle, further in or out?
You get nothing different on electromagnetics. Your Geiger counter picks up almost nothing on radiation, just regular background, until you're on top of the crow, and then it peaks to a level that would probably cook your insides. But you don't feel it. You have medicine, right? Like any medicine I may not have.
No, very little. I mean, I got.
Oh yeah, you haven't. No, you don't need to roll. You have enough training in medicine to know that if it were really giving off that much radiation, your hands would be blistering from it right now, and it's not. So something strange.
I need to get my Geiger counter recalibrated.
Maybe.
Or,
yeah. I mean,
so-
but again, different. You know that different energies give off different signals different ways. So maybe this is just picking up something else.
Okay.
So.
So you said the crow was actually on top of the U sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you conceal for? Is that what that would?
It would be putting something away so nobody else can see it. So, like, if you had a gun and you wanted to hide it from everyone else,
So it's not like someone's trying to conceal something.
No, that's all spotted.
So the crow was on top of the U sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's moved the crow yet, right?
No
You
one's
didn't move
touched
the crow or anything like that. Is there any visible wounds on the crow?
Not on this side.
On this side, okay. So, and is there any? Does it look like there's any blood or anything else on the U sticks?
Not from what you can see.
Of the sticks I can see, correct? Okay. All right.
I hope so.
I'm going to kind of. I assume we have gloves.
Oh yeah.
So I guess my question out of me would be, what's the due process for this? Is this like call the police and they do?
It's not a crime scene. There's no crime scene here. It's yours.
Oh, so we are the investigators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unless the
farmer
wants to come in.
If you found dead guys out here, that'd be one thing.
Oh, okay.
But dead animals are a weird thing, and clearly they've been getting those kinds of reports to begin with.
Okay.
You probably have some sort of private investigator's license for everybody, just to cover any kind of weird stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be in our contract with the town anyway?
Probably would be covered. One of the things you guys covered.
Okay.
Although technically this might be outside of the town limits, probably again it's not. Montana's not going to come after you for this.
Okay.
For moving a dead bird or something.
Where the tracks go that weird that I was seeing. They're just up in the circle.
You see, no, they're outside. Nothing. You don't see any tracks inside the circle. The ground is too hard packed. They head south, which is kind of back towards the two farms, but it's also back towards town. But you get maybe 10, 15 steps, and then you could see them. The ground gets a little hard, and you can't follow them much farther.
Is the farmer still out with us?
No, he stayed at the house.
I wonder if there's been any helicopter activity around here.
You'd have to call the FAA to get that kind of information.
So I think we need to check that out because that would be a vehicle large enough to carry something 4 or 5, how many over 100 pounds you said, and just drop it down and pick it back up. That's one way.
I'm going to put on our gloves. I'm not touching the dead bird with my bare hands.
Sure.
And I'll pick the bird up and check its mouth, see if there's anything in it.
When you begin to pick up the bird, do you grab the wings? Do you grab the body?
I'll probably grab the body.
Through the gloves, you would feel an intense burning immediately.
I drop the bird. I stop touching the bird.
You probably got it, I don't know, a couple inches off the ground and you drop it. The first thing that happens, you feel the intense burning, you drop it and realize it won't let go. And then the burning shoots up your arm into your chest. And then it drops out of your hand and nothing's wrong. And you look at the glove and there's no rubber on the bottom. But your hand there's no indication that anything made it go away.
This was good film.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what did he see on the black light? Because he was filming
First,
you
you need to roll sanity.
Fair enough. So I have to roll under my sanity.
You want to roll under your sanity.
I did roll under my sanity.
So you will actually still lose 1.
Fair enough.
Everybody else roll your sanity as well because you react, right? Like,
yeah.
oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to roll under it, correct?
Under the circled number.
I rolled above.
Yes.
95.
So if you failed, roll a d3. So you roll a d6 and divide in half. If you succeeded, you lose nothing. He becomes very startled, like almost like grabs his chest with the other hand, and then drops the bird. Looks and you see that the rubber of the glove or the latex of the glove has been burned away almost. It looks singed around the edges, but his hand is perfectly fine. Not even slightly pinker from like the heat of being inside the glove.
I have medicine, so I'm going to be able to look at
That would be first aid, actually.
Okay, I have first aid.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
I rolled a 33 out of 40.
He seems fine. I mean, his hand, there's no burns. The plastic isn't worn, or the latex isn't worn. Nothing happened there.
All right. Well, since we're filming this, I'm going.
Now that you guys have all looking at your hand, the bird is standing there. Wings are back in.
He's
just
looking
kinda
at
The
us.
bird is back alive.
who says it was dead.
Dead, fair enough.
And it's kind of like hopping. You know how birds kind of hop around a little bit? Just hopping, looks up at you, caws once, just kind of hops around, like looking around for, like, pecking at the ground, like for something to eat.
And he's not flying away?
Nope. No. He's aware of you and everything.
A cult.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. 73 out of 9.
Oh, yeah. 45 under 80.
10 out of 6.
There's nothing natural about that. That bird may not have been dead, but it sure as heck wasn't alive like this. If it had been, like, stunned or something, it would be a little wobbly. There's no wobble to this.
I'm going to flip through the spectrum of the games to see if we see
when you flip back to the UV, under the bird there was a smaller circle, and inside that is a even smaller, like, looks like probably painted, of that same eye, but only in the UV. Are you seeing that? Hold on, I'm not finished.
Okay.
Let me finish. When you flip through a couple other ones, you see, like, peaks in heat on the bird. It's hotter than what you would expect a bird to be, but not by far. It's probably 5-6 degrees hotter than what you would expect.
Hey guys, there's a couple things I need to tell you. What I'm seeing here. One, the bird is a little bit warmer than it should be.
Yeah. My glove says so.
Right. And also there's another image of the eye on the UV in the center. What's the car saying?
I grabbed the Geiger counter because I'm still kind of looking at my hand a little bit. But I grabbed the Geiger counter and kind of point at the bird, see what happens.
Nothing. Bird background radiation.
And then point it back at the.
And there's where the radiation is.
Okay.
And now that you're kind of playing it and you move along, those lines are giving off radiation as well.
Okay.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, he had said, because he was filming while he was picking up the bird, he said what happened when he picked up, as he picked up the bird, like, what did he see?
There was, in the UV, there was nothing different. I assume you were filming in UV unless you had somebody else filming in another wavelength, which is fine.
Yeah, me filming.
He's filming normal.
That's what
Normal. Yeah, you guys both don't notice anything different. You wave the Geiger counter over your hand?
Oh, yeah.
There's radiation. Like, it should be blistering your hand, but it's quickly, like, it's like it's dissipating almost immediately.
We're going to want the bird.
And when you say that, it caws again and hops a couple of times, and then stops dead and looks up at the six of you. And then it's gone. Not flies away, it's just gone. Well,
Now, in this case, since I lost one, I have to roll under 64.
You roll under the new number.
So I roll under 64 now.
So if we pass, we lose one.
Hold on. If you pass, you lose 2. Things don't disappear. If you fail, roll D8. Oh, good. Everybody succeeded. And you know, that it seems really strange, but the best part is that'll do us tonight for Masks of Nyarlathotep. And thank you guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
And that'll do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us on Facebook, facebook.com/nerdsdomain, or Twitter @nerdsdomain, or over at our site, nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Josh Shop for our music. Don't forget you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at slashloot.com.